everybody really knows how much debt there is, etc. And like they can't even make the payments to meet the bare minimum for the funding of all of these
Right.
pensions, and like the city of Chicago is refusing. But listen, there is this woman here in Chicago named Stacy Gates, who's like the most hardcore communist psychopath liberal retard you've ever seen. And for President's Day, she gave a speech about herself because she's the president of the Chicago Teachers Union. So, like, instead of honoring US presidents, this dumb bitch honors herself. And like everybody just trashed her on her, like, dude, the comments are so crazy. Like, it's like there's like an open revolt. And like, but the thing is, like, it's the images that they put out, the videos they put out are so cringe and so crazy that it's like obvious that these people are parasites and like not really interested in educating our children because they have never even educated themselves. It's fucking
No,
crazy. It's like a
job.
different planet. It's like
Yeah.
a Martian planet of like you're like this isn't what like teachers and unions were like when I was a kid. Like it was totally professional, totally dedicated to education. No politics at all. So like how the fuck can teachers become hyper political when we're paying them with our property taxes? Shut the fuck up and read the books. It's crazy.
Right. Right. Worker. Why did Karl Marx say workers of the world unite?
But see, these
That,
aren't
that's the
workers.
biggest.
These are socialist. See, you can't
Yeah.
call education work. It's a duty and responsibility of everybody because everybody should want to be educated. But all your communication deals with basically it's the same complaint against the Zionists: occupation, genocide, and reparations and white structural racism. And it's so crazy because like in Evanston, they have given like 300 African Americans $40,000 from cannabis taxation. And it's just like, well, let's see the profiles on all these people that they've given all this money to. Plus, have they paid income tax on it? There's like this whole, basically that's what they're really interested in is like social equity redistribution based on race. And the whole concept of race is just so tentative and stupid at this point. Man, I don't know. Maybe if there is some kind of like awesome AI breakthrough, because like we are so smart as like a collective globally that like maybe there will be like some kind of like AI messiah or AI antichrist, whatever you want to call it. But maybe there will be like some type of breakthrough innovation because like based on like how TikTok and the micro like electronics, like it would be pretty cool to have an AI dog, or like but that was like amazing,
Come out. Don't worry. All that shit's gonna come out.
but will it live up to like our imaginations? And sadly,
I think
philosophy says no.
I think it will over time. It will.
Really though, because like it's pretty complicated to create. Because you would imagine it would have to be very expensive to have a very amazing robot. It would cost like a Bugatti, no? Like it would be millions of dollars to have one of the latest robots from Tesla.
I'm sure, but
Because it's basically a slave. Like you now have a slave. Like you don't have to cook, you don't have to clean. Like that's what it's people would first go for the housekeeper, no? Like that's the premium model. Like that movie I Robot, with Will Smith, and I hate Will Smith,
right.
but like that would be the dream where like we actually have, a robot smarter than a human serving a human. Like that would be the imagination. But I just don't think it's possible. Because most of
Yeah.
this stuff is like linguistic spam. It's not like literal. And these robots are like, it's all kind of the same shit. I mean, most of these videos are all AI videos. So it's possible though, you know. But fuck, they'll probably use them for war before they'll use them for housekeeping. Let's be practical here. Let's not send our soldiers to go die in the trenches. Let's go send 1 million robots.
Right.
It's a little bit like Star Wars, the clone army. But I'm optimistic, because it's like the world, like I'm glad that I live in America versus, I'm glad we have the leadership that we have in America. Like I would be very demoralized if Kamala Harris and Tim Walz were our president right now. I
Oh
would be
God,
very upset
I
regularly.
I I think Tim Walz was probably one of the dumbest fucking vice presidents I've seen in our lifetime. Although, I mean, we thought Dan Quayle was bad. I don't know, man. Walz was dumber.
Dude, Waltz is leading and in charge and responsible for like one of the not the biggest, but a massive fraud and drain on our system in California. Like, have you seen Doge, HHS? Have you seen the Health and Human Services, which is tracking all the spending for Medicare, Medicaid, and they're outing
No.
all of these massive fraud rings in Boston, in the California, everywhere. Like now they have the actual data and the expenditures. And I even had a post on Grok because Thomas Massey was like posting about this HHS fraud, and then I just posted a reply like, "Hey Grok, identify the top 10 most suspicious fraud line," and then it got 20,000 views on X because right time, right place, right question. And then all these other accounts, like big accounts with huge research capabilities, are really doing deep diving into the expenditures, and they're like, how the fuck can an office with one person bill $74 million out of Brooklyn? Like they're saying the fraud in Brooklyn is like insane levels of purport. Like
Sure.
per capita and all this shit. So like they're able to do a lot of this on per capita. So all this analysis is coming out, but will there be action? I mean, will there be clawback? Because most of these IRS criminal investigators, they're going after these fraud rings, and but it's everybody. Everybody should be going after these fraud rings now that like the government data is public and internet sleuths are doing the work that people in the government can't even do because they're too stupid and like can't do it at scale. So there's, dude, it's gonna be a banger of a year. It's just getting started. And the weather's pretty good. They keep spraying aluminum into the sky though, but I gotta tell you, the weather's pretty good for February.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
There should be a lot of arrests, and there's so many arrests on pederasty and other sexual abuse crimes, which is like
Uh
crazy
huh.
because it's like, why are they publishing all this stuff now and doing all these arrests now? It's like it's got to be timed to like the Epstein release, where it looks like the government is taking action on a lot of these child sex trafficking rings, which are criminal, global criminal conspiracies, etc., and tied to narco terrorists, tied to just criminals. Like, have you been to the DHS website and seen the booking photos of all these ICE arrests?
I've seen some.
Well, I looked at like over 300 booking photos in the state of Illinois, and I didn't even go to other states. But if you were to just like sit there and watch a video of 5,000 mugshots, you'd be like, bro, holy shit. Like, wow, talk about like a job well done, and talk about like trying to save America and getting like real criminal narcotic terrorists arrested. I mean, it's these booking photos and the associated description on their rap sheet is terrifying, dude. You're like, what? Yeah, you got to realize that like this whole country, like in every major city, really does have a serious criminal illegal alien presence that is living here illegally and will not leave unless forcibly arrested. And they've got big rap sheets, and you're talking about like probably hundreds of thousands of more people that need to be arrested, who are like the most dangerous, and they're living in major US cities, but they're protected. And we don't have enough people to do these arrests. But a lot of this is also a scam. Like they're buying these huge like warehouses to like create these new like prison max facilities, etc. Dude, there's just no debt crisis, man. There's like never a debt crisis. It doesn't seem there's just like spending
Explain that again,
opportunities.
Rob. They sweep it under the rug and they put something else up there.
Here's another 50 billion to build prisons. It's like, wow, 50 billion.
Yeah.
Where did you come from, 50 billion? Oh, you mean Congress just said, here's 50 billion and the Federal Reserve put it into their systems, into their models. Here's your 50 billion. Thank you, Federal Reserve. No problem. Glad to help. So,
Yep.
dude, this Epstein thing has fucking caused lots of problems, even for replacing Chairman Powell. Because the guy that they wanted to put in is in the Epstein emails.
Well, you know what's interesting about this guy replacing Powell? I think he's going to be. I think he's going to be a little different. He's not going to be what Trump expects. I don't think he's going to cut rates.
Dude, never say never. Like, Trump is the miracle man. And a lot of this deals with his legacy and his appraisal of his ministers and his, cabinet. So, also the thing is, when people get outed, he's got to take action. And if somebody's dishonor requires that they be terminated, like, they're going to lose their job, And like, this ain't no Watergate, I saw a picture of the police officer who arrested the operatives that were doing Watergate. And like, Watergate, became like a huge, massive machine, that brought down the presidency. He didn't have to, retire, but he's like, I didn't want to damage the presidency anymore. Dude, the guy didn't have to step down. Like, what the fuck? Nixon probably regretted that over time. He's like, fuck it, I never should have stepped. Fuck it, I was the president. What the fuck?
Did you ever read his book, Watergate?
No.
It's very good, very, very interesting. But to your point, I don't think he had to step down either.
Dude, that's the mandate, man. The fucking guy is Caesar. Like, maybe he stepped down because he got a deal. That's probably what happened. He probably got a deal. And they're like, we won't arrest you. We won't kill you. And you can have all this shit. Just step down.
Yeah, that was this plea bargain is what you're saying.
Yeah.
I get it.
Because he lived a great life, man. That guy had a fucking baller ass ranch in California.
I went to his library in California. It's very nice.
Yeah, the guy had incredible, the guy was, he didn't flaunt his wealth. And I liked how he's like, I work. I don't go to Newport Beach on the weekend and hang out on my boat with a bunch of faggots. Like, the guy was pretty based, I mean, he didn't seem like he, I mean, when you just compare like him to Obama and everything that Obama has done since leaving the presidency, it's like, dude, this guy is such a fucking F word, N word. And his Tower of Mordor in Chicago that he wants people to create misinformation out of, it's like the Tower of Babel. It's just like never ending American hate. And how are we going to fix this? How are we going to come back after Trump is gone? It's like he has created his own industry, and it's totally traitorial and anti-American. It's like there's so many brainwashed people look at him as the GOAT, and they look at Brandon Johnson as the GOAT, the GOAT, the GOAT. It's like, bitch, why don't you try to become a GOAT? It's just, I mean, we have a problem in this country where the most unqualified, most woke, most deranged, biggest liars and misinformationists do become our leaders. And it's all based off of like this lie of racism and, brown, black reparations by electing people who are unqualified. Like, the guy is not a learned man. We need to elect extremely wise and learned people with extreme experience of incredible, brilliancy. Like, we can't let these insane Marxists, socialists, liberal, Democrat, communist liars and traitors Like they have to keep the Constitution in their mind and their heart at all times with what they're thinking and saying, and they just don't. They're like they're crazy. They're history revisionists that hate American culture and history. It's wild to watch. It's like, dude, this is like extreme clown world. Like extreme clown world. It's unbelievable. And it's at scale. It's like everywhere. Every major liberal left woke city is a sanctuary city of wokeism and resistance and trans too. Like Clinton just put out a photo with that trans congressperson. And it's like, dude, even using the word trans, it's like, no, man. I'm I'm not gonna do these word games with people that want to create words. They're the most sinister amongst us that demand that we even use words like trans or gay. No. Homosexual faggots. Like, don't be afraid to use the word faggot. Because, faggots is a bundle of sticks, and we're not associating faggots with a protected class. Just because you want to have homosexual orgasm doesn't give you a special protection of speech. It doesn't, despite the fact that Google says you can't talk about certain groups of people because they have protected speech benefits. That violates our Constitution. Everyone and everyone is worthy of being roasted. Doesn't matter if you suck cock or pussy. Like, we will roast you if your ideas are uh, impractical and stupid, because we have a major crisis, which is the debt crisis. And none of these people can talk about it. They can't talk about it because it's not a crisis to them. It's just an opportunity. And so we've been sold out. Like, our founders and our fathers saved for us for the future. And we spent it all and borrowed 1,000 times against it. What? Dude, Nick, I'm telling you, man, it is a crisis, and it's real. Like, it's not impacting me, but there's other people out there that shouldn't have it so rough because they got sold out, 1,000 times
Well,
over.
think about it. From what, 1776 to 2010, what was our national debt? Like 10 trillion when Rand Paul was first running or first got into Senate. He was talking about like being 10 trillion,
Yeah.
10 or 12, something like that. Yeah, we've almost tripled that,
Yeah.
or we have tripled that
Yep.
in like 15 years.
Quadrupled it.
Yeah, we've quadrupled it pretty much.
Or even more than that, because the unfunded liabilities,
Yeah,
that's the
unfunded
real number.
liabilities. And we don't even know how much, 150 to 200 trillion. I brought that up in a room in here, and this guy's like, no, you're full of shit. And I showed him some things like, no, that's just an arbitrary Google website. I'm like, okay.
I mean, see, the thing is, it's just not genuine. See, the thing is that $1 trillion we're paying in interest every single year, which is really like 100 billion a month. Bro, who are the recipients at 100 billion a month? It's probably BOA, Wells Fargo,
Chase.
JP Morgan Chase, State Street, Vanguard, etc. Those are the real recipients of that $100 billion interest VIG monthly. And that's what's bleeding us. And because that's pure profit, dude. These financial services company don't have to manufacture a car to net that. Wow, what a life. What a life. There's no labor that goes into netting that, dude. That's just fucking finance profit, which is beautiful. Like fucking margins out the wazoo. But if you look at the margin of BOA or JPM, it's like 25%. It's not like the craziest profit margin in the world. It's not like a 4-to-1, but still, we're talking about 100 billion a month. Dude, want to talk about I'm not in the mafia, but Nick, when you're talking about 100 billion a month, now we start to talk about the integration of the banking industrial complex and the military industrial complex. Because guess what bankers like? They like former special, forces, soldiers. Like, you can go from the Rangers into banking. You can. I mean, they recognize, like, they want dangerous people or sociopaths, psychopaths working with them because they need the security. They want killers with them because it's that much money. Like, that's how dangerous it is, really. Because that's life. But anyways, In the Epstein files, one of the scariest things that I read was, do you know what the Winter Hill Gang is?
No, no, I don't.
It's like one of the most psychotic, brutal narcotics trafficking gangs in American history with Whitey Bulger.
Okay.
It's called the Winter Hill Gang, and it says that they infiltrated and took over the Boston FBI.
Wow.
Can you imagine? Like the FBI is not the FBI. It's being run by a gang, a terrorist, narcotic, psychopathic, deranged gang led by a former MK Ultra, subject participant known as Whitey Bulger, who they captured in Santa Monica with $1 million stuffed in the wall. But he was like an MK Ultra participant who did like all this lysergic acid and reprogramming that the CIA was doing. So they created a monster. They basically created a Frankenstein through the MK Ultra program, and there's multiple people who basically are Frankensteins as a result of their experimentation, but it's all taxpayer funded. So, in conclusion, uh, if you run a cult about deprogramming people from cults, guess what? That's your cult. You run a deprogramming cult. So the question is, who's going to watch the prison guards? Who's going to president the president? Who's going to watch the teachers? I mean, like, I'm just saying that we live in a very such a robust, hyper dynamic society. And I was reading in this book today by Balthasar Grassi, and it was talking about what is perfection, and then also variety, and what was the other term for perfection? But anyways, variety is the spice of life, in my opinion. And it was also saying don't live your life by just one century. And that's what a lot of people do, especially a lot of Muslims. They live their life by one century as opposed to like, consuming multiple centuries of information and then living their life without so much judgment, but more living a life based on wisdom accumulation and information accumulation. And we're accumulating a lot of information, but a lot of the information that people are accumulating, it's just garbage. So garbage in, garbage out. This app is actually like a recycling center and a garbage dump. And what you bring into it is what you take out of it. But no one here has ever brought anything out other than garbage from Clubhouse. Nobody's ever brought a polished diamond or a polished bar of gold or silver or platinum. They've only brought out emotion. And that's what is tied. That's what this whole app is about. It's about emotion. It's not about information gathering or information transfer. It's about emotional emotion plus political position, and propaganda. So that's really the power of this app. And humans are smart enough to know that that's really the real value in it because they're not bringing in any good information. Like CM here, he doesn't bring in any good information into this app. And therefore, he leaves this app with the garbage that he brings into it, which is complaints and criticism. And he's a terrible critic. There are professional critics out there, people that get paid because their critique is valued, but not CM's. CM has very negative critique. And I would challenge him to say, okay, John, I'll bring some value. I'm going to open up a book and read something. If you'll listen to me for 60 seconds or 3 minutes, you're here all day. You probably would listen to me if I had something valuable to say because you're here all day, dude. You're here on this app like all day, 7 days a week, bro. How are you here so much? Are you getting paid? Well, I guess I don't have anything important to say or anything intelligent to say that you'd want to listen to like, give me some of your time and recording, but that's okay because I actually don't have anything interesting or intelligent to say. So that's my show. And there's a Clubhouse speaker here who's a super F word, super N word. Oh, Nick, do you know what an NFFN is?
No.
It stands for nigger, fucker, fucker, nigger. And you got to say it real quick, otherwise it would be considered hate speech. So you got to say it real quick, so nobody can really know what an NFFN is. But that's my comedy, and I'm sticking to it. And it's freedom of speech to be funny. To get around the censors in creative ways. That's what people get paid for, to be creative against the censors, because the censors are the enemy of we the people, enemy of intelligence. They want to, like, I was talking about 9/11, on YouTube, and they literally gave me a community guideline strike and said that it's hate speech. And it's like 100, everything and that's the craziest thing, Nick. It's like when the censor says that you can't say this, then you're like, oh my God, then it's the truth. It's the truth. They don't want the truth to come out. It's so crazy. It's like, dude, they're telling me exactly. I'm hitting the nail on the head, dude. Like, it's true, and they can't let out these national secrets on YouTube. So they tell you can't talk about 9/11 truth. You can't talk about World Trade Center 7. You can't talk about the videos of people saying there's explosives going off in the lobby of the building. I mean, it's just like, dude, it was a CIA operation. I mean, controlled. So
Right.
If you have a problem with your government lying to you and deceiving you still to this day and covering it all up when it was like such a huge catastrophe, and even to this day with all the fucking chemicals, the asbestos poisoning, etc. Like, there's just, I mean, and talking about Silverstein and all this shit, it's like, dude, like, how can you censor us if we want to talk about 9/11? It's like, it's unbelievable. I mean, I don't believe that. Anyways, if I talk about it, I'll get another community guideline strike, so I can't talk about it. But I was just going to mention the Pentagon in Shanksville and the fact that those were not airplanes; those were rockets. It's obvious. Like, it's fucking obvious. It was. That's not. There's no evidence that there were planes ever until like years later when they released photos and they showed like the tail of the plane. And you're like, why did they release it so many years later? And why does it look like this is photoshopped? So, anyways, it's reality, dude. Like, I'm not in on it, but there are people whose whole careers, were dedicated to this operation and this project. And it's terrifying to think that like millions of people died based off of communication, hypnosis, and narrative. Because as soon as like it all happened, Osama bin Laden, 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 Osama bin, like, what? Talk about keep buzzword and keyword of the day every day was terrorism, terrorism, terrorist, terrorist, Osama bin Laden, Osama, terrorist, Islamic terrorism, Osama. Like, it's just obvious that, I mean, but this is business, dude. And the thing is, the whole thing really does deal with how intelligent are you. But also the whole thing is censorship too, because, like, I specifically went on eBay and bought a bunch of 9/11 materials, like 9/11 newspapers, 9/11 books, stuff that was made like right after the attacks, to like try to keep a sample of what I would consider propaganda, because now that we know the truth that 9/11 and COVID-19 were pre-programmed projects. Like, they're not they're not organic, dude. I mean,
you can ask Ludwig on the app all about 9/11. He's an expert.
Yeah. See, many people are just repeating the memories that they've, seen on the internet.
Exactly.
So, I take everything with a grain of salt, because like if we were to find out anyways, I'm just saying, who are the family members of the people on the planes, and why haven't we ever seen any videos with them crying about their deceased, husband or uncle, and how that bastard Muhammad who was on that plane was the guy that did it? Like, there's just not enough. See, there's like fiction movies about this shit, but there's never any there's no like video of somebody like piecing it all together and showing the victim statements and showing their profiles and their LinkedIn accounts. And, it's like, dude, so much of life is just what you're told. And that's when you've really got to realize that all communication is hypnosis and propaganda and projection and politics. And it's a huge manipulation and propaganda because, like, your eighth grade education, right after that, like, you might as well just, you know, anyways, it's all just water under the bridge for young people because all these people die. A lot of this is just generational, I think, where like the Bushes, from JFK to George Bush, like at George Bush's funeral, like that was the end of like our Emperor Palpatine, and George Bush Jr. Doesn't seem to me to be like the most evil guy in the world. He seems actually to be like kind of an aloof American, but maybe he's not. Like if his dad was eating the entrails of baby feces, I mean, he's the product of that. So like the Bohemian Grove, Illuminati illumination crowd of what you could call like CIA Satanists or something. Did you ever see the movie The Good Shepherd? With Matt Damon.
I've only seen parts of it. I've never seen the full thing.
Well, Israel did really well because all their enemies except for Iran have been knocked offline, dude. Everybody that really hated Israel, they're gone. Bashar Assad, gone. Muammar Gaddafi, gone. Saddam Hussein, gone. Like, dude, I mean, Israel is like, they had to do it. They had to do it. They had to do it. And it worked out well for them. They have, and oh my God, did you know that MBS is actually Jewish in Saudi Arabia? I heard a rumor out here talking about how his grandmother is Jewish. And I was like, that is so funny.
Really?
Yeah. Because, like, you got to think about, like, the House of Saud is a mirror and a creation, really, of Britain, not so much America. Like, Aramco. God, Aramco had the biggest IPO of all time at $1 trillion, like that.
Yeah.
And it's only grown. It's gotten bigger. So, it's a big club, bro. And I'm not.
George Carlin said it best.
I'm not in
big
it.
Club
I ain't in it. But, if you are aware of it, in a way, you're just like tangential. Because, like, many people will never apply to BlackRock and they'll never apply to the Federal Reserve because they don't even know anything about it. And they don't even think about it. But like, if you think about it, if you want to be a saint, you got to be saintly. And, a lot of life is people never achieve anything because they never attempt it. They never even attempt it. That's what I was reading about today. Let's see what the market cap of Aramco is now. $6 trillion. Jesus Christ. It's got a 5% dividend yield. Holy fuck.
Yeah, it's insane how much
6 trillion. Dude, Aramco, Saudi Arabian oil company, is worth $6 trillion. I can't believe it. Fuck, dude.
I think Nvidia's like 5 trillion, 4 trillion.
Apple's at 4 trillion.
Damn.
It's amazing. Like, oil is used everywhere. Cell phones are used everywhere. So, like, they're pretty much on par. And what's amazing is when you're worth $6 trillion, you're not even so much an oil producer as you are a financial services company. Because, like, so much of your work is, oh my God, we're making all this fucking money. Like, and, oh, God. And Aramco invests, Aramco has a portfolio. It's an institution. So, there's a lot of money. You're a CPA, bro. If you got your Series 7 or because a lot of this is also marketing. Like, how are you going to get hired at Goldman Sachs? How are you going to get on, like, a Saudi trading desk for Aramco? I mean, it's real. It's out there. A lot of this also is your investigation into it. Who are the people and what's their LinkedIn? What's their X account? What's their Facebook page? Like, because a lot of this is just communication and sales. Like, I was reading about like famous art brokers, And like if you want to make a lot of money as an art broker, like you got to basically get a patron, a billionaire who wants to spend, $100 million a year on artwork, and you're his broker. You got to get that position. So, but those people earn it by cultivating it, by researching it, and basically running a psyop on their victim, on their client. So the question is, how much time and effort are you going to invest in trying to achieve whatever your desire is? You might be satisfied with what you got, and but a lot of this is really just awareness, knowledge, and doing a little work. Like if you have a stock and you get their annual shareholder statement and their perspective, their series, whatever, like their disclosure shit, like it tells you who all the vice presidents are, etc. And it's like, do you do LinkedIn?
No, I don't use it.
I don't use it either, and I love that I'm not on it because I fucking hate it. But it
I
is.
would some years ago. I deleted my account. It just got really annoying, and people want to sell you stuff.
Yeah, but people who work at publicly traded corporations are on there because they are actually like trying to like survive. Meaning, like if they get cut, like they're gonna get picked up because they have that network and they're on there. And like if you own a share in any of these companies, who their board and who their key executives are because they publish it. And it's like, where else are you going to get that information? You're not going to get it anywhere unless you own a share in that fucking company. And they mail it you every year. They're like, here's our fucking brochure and here's who we are. And then you're like, okay, now I know who you are. Maybe I can try to communicate with you. And most people are open to communication. That's the amazing thing. And we're living in this communication technology revolution of mind control. Like the cell phone is it is our beta orbiter, and people live their lives imprisoned in a cell phone now. Even the rich, like it's a drug, dude. It's a medical device technology delivery, and this app is like a thing of it. And Elon still does this, but he doesn't do it here. He does it on his own platform now under Adrian Dittman. So you can talk with Elon Musk, but you got to know how to talk to him. You can't talk to him as Elon Musk.
Isn't there multiple like Adrian Dittman accounts on X?
No, there's one Adrian Dittman account. He's got all these other little feeder accounts that like all go back to the Adrian Dittman. And he even took over my profile handle, Adrian Dittman, or he suspended it. Because I spelled it with one T and one N. He goes with two T's and two N's, I believe. But it's a big profile. And he just plays video games now. He just live streams himself playing video games. And if you knew that the richest man on the planet wastes all his time picking his ass playing video games, I'm actually kind of like, amazed. But I'm not, because I understand how ridiculous life is at this point. Like Clown World runs it, but Elon Musk has the time and the desire to just give no fucks and play video games and sit there and make stupid memes. And he calls it art. Yo, yo,
Are you Muslim?
am I a Muslim? What's a Muslim?
Muslim is the one who pray, the one who believes in God, and who believes the Prophet is the messenger, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
What was all that at the end there? I couldn't hear you. You like said a bunch of quick stuff in like a snake tongue. What was that?
I say like the Prophet. We say like peace be on him in Arabic. Muhammad.
Oh, Muhammad. Does he go by any other names?
Nah, we say like Prophet Muhammad in Arabic. Is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam means peace be on him. Like my English is kind of bad.
Who's the God of who's Muhammad's God?
Muhammad's God is Allah.
And who is Allah?
Allah is the one all-knowing, the Almighty, the King, the Master, the Sustainer, the everything.
Allah is everything?
Allah is everything, subhanahu wa ta'ala. He's the King of the kings.
Allah is King of kings. And so what does that make Muhammad?
Muhammad is a prophet. He's a messenger.
Is he a servant of the king?
Yes, like us.
Interesting. Well, that sounds, like a great movie. Is there a movie about this?
Nah, bro. It's like
Pretty sure there's a movie about this. Maybe it's called The Prophet.
Can I ask you one question, Mary?
You want to ask me a question? Go ahead.
Okay, what do you believe in religion?
Do I believe in religion?
Yeah.
What's religion?
Like, do you believe in God?
What's God?
God, who created you?
God created me?
Yes, sir, man.
I thought my mom and my dad had sex, and then because my father inseminated my mother, her uterus bare fruits of me. I didn't know God did that.
That doesn't make sense. Something has to begin for the first time, you know?
Oh, you mean like Adam and Eve?
Yes, that's everything has a beginning. You know that?
Oh, I see. Well, is Jesus a Muslim?
Yes.
I thought he was a Christian.
No, it was not.
Jesus is a Muslim?
Yeah, he prayed to God.
Oh my God!
Listen, let me clarify that you know the word Muslim is the who want to submit himself to God. Jesus prayed to God. That means he's Muslim.
Oh my God! I didn't know that. That's amazing. Well,
yeah, I hear you, bro.
That's amazing. Well, what about the Pope? Who is the Pope?
Pope, what's the Pope mean?
Yeah, what does the Pope mean?
Well, the thing is, my English is not that good. I'm not from the America, you know.
Where are you from?
I'm from Sweden.
You live in Sweden and you don't speak English?
Yeah, we're not that good, bro.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Not everybody. Not everybody.
Well, what century? Well, what year is it?
Like in Sweden?
Yeah, what's the year?
In Sweden?
Right now, yeah.
It's 2026, bro.
What century do you live in?
In Islamic or like the other way?
Islamic.
Islamic like 1400 something.
1400 something? But do you live in 1400 something or do you live in 2026?
We follow like the calendar of Islamic. I live in 1400 something.
Oh my God. You're still living in the 1400s. Wild. Well, would you get married to a 13-year-old? As you know, if you could have a marriage, would you marry a 13-year-old?
No. Why?
What about a 15-year-old?
No.
What about a 17-year-old?
No.
18-year-old?
Nah.
20-year-old?
I'm like 21, so like in my age or like older.
Okay, got it.
Most 1 year younger than me.
Is that like a 2026 thing or like a 1400 thing?
The thing is, back in the days, let me clarify. The thing is, back in the days, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the prophet marrying a young girl, yeah, right?
Aisha.
Yes, I know it. The thing is, she was not 9, bro.
How old?
She was 18.
18?
Yes.
Wow.
Let me clarify that she was 18. But the time by then, they didn't know like how time moves. You know, nobody had like what did I say? Like, you know, focus or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Concentration.
She was grown, bro. Let me tell you about something, bro. You sound a good guy, bro. Let me be honest with you. Bro. You can teach me about your religion. I will listen respectfully and like listen. You hear me?
Yeah, you want to learn English.
English, and do you believe in Christianity?
What's that?
You don't believe any religion.
What are the major religions?
It's like the 5, or it's more. I know there's more religion, but I know the 5.
What are the 5?
The 5 is like Christianity, Islam. Hello, Zaza.
So Christianity, Islam. What are the other 3?
Judaism and Buddhism and Hinduism, something like that.
Those are 5 big religions. What's the biggest?
The biggest
Islam.
The biggest is Christianity, I think.
No, it's Islam.
My population is Christianity.
Wait, let me check.
It is. But the fastest growing religion is Islam right now. That's for sure.
Okay, I don't have to check that. It's Islam.